In the modern world, where humans endlessly race to seek success, fame, and recognition, there is a forgotten truth. Happiness does not lie in the destination, but in the journey. It does not lie in tomorrow, but in the present moment. The Stoics, thousands of years ago, saw this clearly. They did not deny grand ambitions, yet they reminded us that simple happiness is always present, even in the smallest things. A deep breath, a pristine sunrise, a heartfelt conversation, all are enough to make the heart smile, if we know how to fully live in that moment. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, once wrote in his Meditations, "Do not let the future disturb you, nor the past bind you. Live with the present as if it is all you have." This is not merely advice, but a vital philosophy for life. When the mind is pulled by past and future, we lose the present, the only place where we truly exist. The Stoics teach that happiness is not a distant illusion, but the ability to pause, breathe, and feel the value of every passing moment. Epictetus, born a slave, understood profoundly that life may take everything, but it cannot take the present. He often reminded his students, happiness and freedom begin with understanding that some things are within our control and others are not. And the present moment, with all that we can experience, belongs entirely to us. When we choose to live fully in the now, we break free from the chains of fears that have not yet arrived and regrets that have already passed. This is spiritual freedom, the source of simple yet lasting happiness. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, repeatedly warned against wasting time. He believed that humans often live as if they were immortal, squandering each day chasing an uncertain future, while the present, the most precious treasure, is ignored. He wrote, "We do not have too little time, but we waste too much of it." The Stoics remind us that every day could be the last. And if we learn to cherish each moment, we will never have to regret anything, because we have truly lived, not merely existed. The Stoics' simple happiness does not arise from luxury, but from awareness. It can be found in enjoying a modest meal, watching sunlight filter through a window, or feeling the warmth of a loved one's hand. The essence is not in external conditions, but in inner attention. When we learn to return to the present, we realize that what we have been searching for has been here all along, and that is the greatest gift Stoic philosophy offers humanity, the ability to find happiness in every fleeting second of ordinary life. The Stoics believed that the present is like a gift, and in English, the word present captures this beautifully. It means both the current moment and a gift. When our minds wander through the past or fret over the future, we are missing out on that gift. Epictetus once said, "Why fear what has not yet happened? It does not exist. Only your mind makes it exist." Worries about the future are illusions. Regrets about the past are shadows, and only the present is truly alive. When we learn to seize the present, simple happiness naturally unfolds, like a flower blossoming in the morning light. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of what you have, not what you lack." This is a timeless reminder to cultivate gratitude in every moment. When we constantly compare ourselves to what we have not yet achieved, happiness always feels distant. But when we pause and appreciate what is already within our reach, health, family, a roof over our heads, or even just the ability to breathe and witness the sunlight, happiness becomes simple and intimate. The Stoics teach us that gratitude for the present is not just a polite courtesy of the mind, It is the foundation that prevents humans from being swept away in the endless whirlpool of dissatisfaction. Seneca, with his wealth of experience, warned that those who chase distant pleasures are often the most unhappy. They place their happiness at a point in the future, when they have more money, when they achieve higher status, when everything is perfect. But when they arrive at that milestone, another one lies further ahead. Happiness becomes an endless pursuit, leaving the soul perpetually hungry. The Stoics offer a different solution. Place happiness right here, in this very moment. For if you cannot find happiness today, you will never find it tomorrow. In modern life, this lesson is more urgent than ever. We live in a society that constantly urges us to move faster, work harder, earn more, acquire more. Advertising, media, and social networks relentlessly plant the idea that happiness will only arrive when we gain something new. But the Stoics teach that happiness does not reside in what we do not have, but in the ability to fully enjoy what is already present. A quiet afternoon watching the sunset, a single minute turning off your phone to listen to the birds, a warm embrace. These ordinary moments carry genuine happiness within them. Epictetus emphasized, "You can be rich immediately if you know contentment with what you have." This is not a call to stop striving or to reject ambition. Rather, it is a reminder that true wealth comes from within. Those who do not know sufficiency will always feel lack, while those who know enough are forever wealthy. When we practice returning to the present, appreciating the small things, we discover that happiness is not a distant goal. It is a state always within reach. And that is the power of Stoicism. It grants humans freedom from endless desire, allowing us to find simple happiness in every fleeting moment. The simple happiness of the Stoics also lies in the ability to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. When we anchor our happiness in things beyond our grasp, we live in constant unease. We cannot control the weather, but we can control our mood when rain falls. We cannot control how others behave, but we can control our reactions. The Stoics understood that when we surrender the power to decide our happiness to external circumstances, we make ourselves slaves. But when we place happiness within the power of self-mastery, we remain free, no matter the situation. Epictetus, through the bitter experiences of his life as a slave, distilled a profound truth. Happiness cannot be taken away unless we voluntarily give it up. He taught, "No one can make you unhappy without your consent." This means that even when life is harsh, you can choose to live serenely. That ability to choose is the most precious asset, and it is the key to finding joy, even in adversity. The Stoics discovered that happiness is not found in removing all obstacles, but in learning how to turn each challenge into an opportunity to live more deeply in the present. Marcus Aurelius, amidst the endless responsibilities of an emperor, still found simple happiness in small moments. In his meditations, he wrote about the joy of watching the sunlight, listening to birdsong, breathing in the morning air. An emperor may possess everything, yet he understood that true happiness does not dwell in opulent palaces, but in the awareness of the simple beauty of nature. This proves that happiness knows no distinction between rich and poor, powerful and ordinary. It opens itself to anyone who returns to the present. Seneca emphasized, "The happy man is not the one who has the most, but the one who is content with what he has." He reminded that ambition has no limit, while knowing sufficiency opens the door to peace. When we tie happiness to a distant goal, we remain perpetually dissatisfied. But when we learn to appreciate the value in even the smallest things, we suddenly realize that happiness has always been around us. A simple meal can be sweeter than a lavish feast if we savor it fully. A quiet afternoon can be more precious than 1,000 adventures if we live it completely. The Stoics did not pursue happiness as a future reward. They saw it as a daily practice. They taught that joy can be found in washing your face in the morning, in manual work, or in moments of silent stillness. The key is full presence. When we are truly present in small, ordinary acts, life becomes richer than any treasure. And when happiness becomes a daily habit, we no longer chase it, for it has become a natural part of every breath and every moment of living. The Stoics regarded happiness not as a reward for the victorious, but as a natural right of anyone who knows how to live mindfully. They remind us that if you are not happy in the present, you will never find happiness in some distant future. The present is all we truly have. Epictetus once said, "If you are unhappy because you lack something, you have forgotten what you already possess." This is not merely advice. It is a reminder that the present moment is already full, if only we choose to see and cherish it. Marcus Aurelius, in the pages of his personal journals, often questioned why humans constantly complain about life when they have the power to choose how they perceive it. He wrote, "Life is neither good nor bad. It is a mirror reflecting our thoughts." This means that happiness does not reside in circumstances, but in the way we receive them. When we choose to see life with gratitude, we discover joy in the smallest details. And when we look through the lens of discontent, even gilded palaces cannot satisfy us. Seneca also wrote, "If you do not know how to enjoy the present, you will forever be a slave to the future." This insight resonates even today, in an age where people place happiness perpetually ahead. We tell ourselves that only when we have more money, achieve promotion, or fulfill our dreams, we will be happy. But upon reaching those milestones, another goal always awaits. The cycle never ends. The Stoics break this loop by placing happiness here, in the present. They do not abandon ambition, but they refuse to let desire steal the joy of today. In modern life, many are so busy that they forget how to live. They wake up to a list of tasks and go to bed with anxieties about tomorrow. They pass mornings without noticing the sunrise and move through meals without truly tasting them. The Stoics would remind them, pause, take a deep breath, look around and see life unfolding in every detail. Happiness does not lie at the end of the road. It is already beneath your feet. And if you do not learn to enjoy it today, you risk losing your life to an endless race. Simple happiness, in Stoic philosophy, is the art of living slowly, not slow in action, but slow in mind. It is the ability to stop and feel a ray of sunlight, a breath, a smile. When we know how to pause, we see that the present has never been impoverished. It is only our minds that are too hurried to notice. The Stoics teach that a rich life is not measured by years or wealth, but by the number of moments we truly live. And when we learn to treasure each instant, every day becomes a masterpiece, no matter how simple. Epictetus often emphasized that human suffering arises not from what happens, but from how we interpret what happens. A person who loses wealth may see it as a catastrophe, or they may see it as an opportunity to live more lightly. Someone who fails at work may view it as the end, or as a turning point to discover a new path. It is precisely this choice that determines happiness. The Stoics do not seek to avoid adversity. They learn to meet it with a calm mind. And when they achieve this, they find happiness even in hardship, without waiting for life to be favorable. Marcus Aurelius, as an emperor, faced countless difficulties, border wars, plagues, uprisings. Yet in his journals, he did not lament his fate. but often reminded himself of the marvels of the present. He wrote of the joy of sunlight streaming through a window in the morning, of the peace found in a few quiet moments amid political storms. This shows that even someone who bears the weight of an empire can find happiness in simple moments. If an emperor can pause to enjoy a morning, why can't we? Seneca advised, "Do not say I will be happy when, say I am happy now." This is a remedy for the disease of postponed happiness, a condition that most of us suffer from. We often place happiness in the future, when our work is secure, when we have a family, when a goal is reached. But upon reaching it, we set another milestone. The Stoics break this endless loop by bringing happiness into the present. They treat each moment as a gift, and with gratitude, they turn each day into a quiet festival of the soul. In everyday life, simple happiness can reside in the smallest details we often overlook. A meal shared with family, a friendly inquiry from a friend, a quiet minute to feel our heartbeat. These things cost nothing, require no preparation, yet they carry the power to heal. The Stoics do not seek happiness in distant places. They find it in the rhythm of ordinary life. And when we train ourselves to recognize these moments, we realize that happiness is never absent. It only waits for us to open our hearts and see it. The Stoics teach that simple happiness does not come from possession, but from presence. The wealthiest may not be happy if their minds dwell in the past or future. The poorest may not be miserable if they know how to savor each moment. This is a paradox, but also a truth. Happiness does not depend on circumstances, but on how we live within them. When we learn to be present, we transform the present into fertile ground for joy. And when the present is full, life becomes rich in a way that cannot be measured. Epictetus once said, "You are not poor if you are content with what you have. You are only poor if your desires are endless." This serves as a reminder that simple happiness does not lie in accumulating more, but in the ability to know sufficiency. Humans are often swept into the whirlpool of comparison, seeing others possess more and believing that they themselves are lacking. Yet the truth is, the moment we feel gratitude for what we already have, we become rich. The Stoics regard contentment as the root of happiness, for it frees us from the chains of desire, the very thing that makes us unhappy even amidst abundance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man can be happy at any time if he knows how to live in harmony with nature." He was not speaking of escaping life, but of aligning the mind with what unfolds around us. When it rains, let it rain. When the sun shines, let it shine. When hardships arrive, let them become lessons. It is this attitude that allows one to live peacefully in all circumstances, rather than rebelling against what cannot be changed. And within this harmony, simple happiness becomes a faithful companion, present regardless of external conditions. Seneca emphasized, "He who does not know how to enjoy the present will never be happy, even if he lives 1,000 years." This reveals that longevity does not equate to the quality of life. Some live long lives, yet remain restless, anxious, and never truly savor the moments. Others live only briefly, but appreciate each instant, turning their lives into a rich journey. The Stoics do not seek to prolong life at any cost. They seek to make each day worth living. And within those days, simple happiness always shines. In the modern world, we are often swept up in such a rapid pace that we lose the ability to be present. Walking down the street, our minds dwell on work. Eating a meal, we are absorbed in our phones. Talking to loved ones, our attention drifts elsewhere. The Stoics would see this as the greatest waste, the waste of the present. For the present is the only place where life truly unfolds. When we are not present, we are not truly alive. And when we train ourselves to return to the moment, through breath, through mindful attention, we not only find happiness, but we also find ourselves. Simple happiness in Stoic philosophy is not an escape from reality, but a wholehearted acceptance of it. It teaches us to smile at the little things, to find peace, even amid chaos. When we live this way, we are no longer haunted by what has passed or anxious about what is yet to come. We are left only with this moment, and this moment is enough. This is why Stoic philosophy, though it has endured for thousands of years, still resonates today, because it shows humanity the way back to simple happiness, found in every breath of the present. Epictetus once likened the present to a stage where each person plays a role. We cannot choose the script, nor can we choose our co-actors, but we can choose how we perform our part. If we act with discontent, the entire play becomes a tragedy. If we act with awareness, it transforms into a journey full of meaning. The lesson here is that happiness does not come from changing the entire stage, but from performing our role fully in this very moment. By accepting our role and cherishing every line, simple happiness emerges naturally as part of the drama of life. Marcus Aurelius reminded that, "Do not expect the universe to bend to your will. Learn to live in harmony with it." This teaches that happiness arises from acceptance, not opposition. When we demand that everything conforms to our desires, disappointment follows. But when we embrace life as it is, peace emerges. The Stoics do not see acceptance as surrender, but as wisdom. For when we stop wasting energy resisting what cannot be changed, we gain the power to enjoy what we can influence, and that is the present. Seneca often warned his students about the affliction of postponing happiness. He wrote, "While we wait to live, life slips away." This is a profound wake-up call. People frequently await an ideal tomorrow to be happy, forgetting that each today is an opportunity to live fully. The Stoics break this postponement by bringing happiness into the present. They treat each day as a gift, each morning as a beginning, each moment as an opportunity. Through such presence, they transform life itself into a journey of simple happiness. In modern life, as people face invisible pressures from society, this philosophy becomes even more practical. A smartphone can occupy us all day, yet it cannot bring happiness if we do not pause to savor a moment of quiet. A high-paying job may provide security, but it cannot bring peace if we are constantly anxious. The Stoics remind us that happiness does not depend on what we possess, but on how we live. When we choose to live in the present, we discover that simple happiness is far closer and more attainable than we imagine. The Stoic concept of simple happiness is also a form of liberation. It frees us from the chains of the past, from anxieties about the future, and from endless comparison with others. When we return to the present, we become free to breathe, to smile, to enjoy the small things. And from that freedom, we realize that happiness is not something distant or elusive. It is the natural state of a mind unburdened by constraints. This is the timeless message of Stoicism. Live in the present, for only the present is the true dwelling of happiness. Epictetus emphasized that people do not suffer because of circumstances, but because of the way they think about those circumstances. A rainstorm may frustrate someone for getting their clothes wet, yet it can bring joy to a farmer who desperately needs water for the crops. Thus, events do not determine our emotions. Our perspective does. The Stoics made this insight the key to finding happiness. Instead of trying to change everything around them, they learned to change how they perceive it. And when perception shifts, Happiness blossoms even in the smallest, seemingly trivial things. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, if something happens in accordance with nature, accept it as inevitable. Nature here does not only mean the vast universe, but also the flow of life with all its surprises. A tiring day, an unexpected setback, an unavoidable loss, all are part of the natural order. Rather than resent them, Marcus chose to accept them. This act of acceptance transforms adversity into an opportunity for growth, turning every moment, even the most difficult, into a valuable part of life's journey. Seneca stressed the fragility of human life. He wrote, "We live as if we are immortal, while each day slips away like drops of water from a cracked vessel." It is precisely this awareness of mortality that makes the Stoics cherish the present more than anything. They do not seek to prolong life endlessly, but to live fully in each day. Simple happiness arises from realizing that every moment could be the last. And when we live as if there is no tomorrow, we learn to embrace the present with a whole and open heart. In today's fast-paced world, people often believe happiness must be built from great achievements. But the Stoics find joy in small things: a deep morning breath, a quiet moment amid a busy workday, a smile shared with a loved one. All hold the value of precious gems if we pause to notice them. By training ourselves to live in the present, these small moments become sources of healing power. Simple happiness is no longer theory. It is a lived experience in each and every day. The Stoics teach that true wealth is not measured by possessions, but by the absence of spiritual poverty. Those who chase after the new will always feel hunger, while those who know enough are ever abundant. When we return to the present, we realize we already have more than we thought. Sunlight, birdsong, a simple meal, a roof over our heads, all are treasures. Simple happiness is the ability to open our eyes and see that we are alive. And in that alone lies a miracle. And within that miracle, no one can take away our joy, unless we forget to live fully in the present. Epictetus once advised his students, "If you wish to be happy, remember that joy does not come from everything going your way, but from choosing the right attitude toward everything." This is a timeless lesson. In reality, we can never control all the events around us, but we can always control how we receive them. When we choose calm instead of anger, gratitude instead of resentment, simple happiness emerges even in the most difficult moments. The Stoics remind us that attitude matters more than circumstance, and the right attitude is the key that unlocks peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste the remainder of your life worrying about what others are doing, saying, or thinking. Return to yourself." He understood that one of the greatest causes of human unhappiness is allowing the mind to be bound by the opinions of the crowd. We worry about how others see us, fear judgment, and crave recognition. Yet simple happiness lies in living true to oneself, fully present in the moment, without depending on external approval. When we learn to stop chasing the gaze of others, we find the freedom to fully enjoy life. Seneca, in a letter to Lucilius, wrote, "Nothing is ours except time. Wealth can be lost, fame can fade, but time is the only asset that truly belongs to us, and each present moment is the most precious portion of it." The Stoics teach that if we waste the present, we are wasting life. But if we live fully in each passing second, then even a brief life can feel abundant. This is the philosophy of simple happiness: to cherish each fragment of time like a rare gem, so that every day that passes is meaningful. In today's society, people often live in two worlds, one of past regrets and one of future anxieties. Few truly live in the world that exists, the world of the present. The Stoics remind us that both the past and the future do not exist in this moment. The past is only memory, the future only imagination, and only the present is real. And if we let the present slip by without living it, we miss the only opportunity for happiness. Simple happiness is not found elsewhere. It resides right in the moment we are breathing, seeing, and feeling. Simple happiness in Stoic philosophy is also the ability to find beauty in the ordinary. A falling leaf, a ray of sunlight breaking through clouds, a spontaneous laugh, all can become sources of joy if we pay full attention. When we slow down and observe carefully, we realize that this world has never lacked wonder. Only our hurried minds fail to see it. The Stoics live with open eyes and humble hearts, seeing that magic does not lie far away, but in the details of everyday life. And in that recognition, simple happiness blooms like a flower. Epictetus once advised, "Do not wish that everything happens as you desire. Wish that everything happens as it does, and you will be happy." This saying holds the essence of serenity, accepting reality. Simple happiness does not arise from the universe bending to our will, but from learning to adjust ourselves to harmonize with it. When we stop resisting what cannot be changed, we feel lighter. A rainy day is no longer a nuisance, but an opportunity to watch shimmering droplets. A delay is no longer an obstacle, but a chance to pause, reflect, and find stillness within. Marcus Aurelius, in the pages of his journals, reminded himself, "Never complain about fate, for fate has given you precisely what you need to grow." He saw challenges not as burdens, but as gifts from life. Through this perspective, he found peace amidst the turbulence of war and political upheaval. The lesson is clear. Simple happiness can be discovered even in adversity if we choose to see obstacles as opportunities to strengthen the soul. And when our perspective shifts, what we once resented becomes a source of inspiration that empowers us to become stronger. Seneca repeatedly reminded that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. Humans fear what has not yet happened and allow that fear to steal the joy of the present. The Stoics cure this by drawing the mind back to the here and now. They teach that instead of worrying over hundreds of future scenarios, we should live fully with what we already have. When we eat, we only eat. When we speak, we only speak. When we breathe, we only breathe. This is how we find simple happiness, by not letting imagined futures rob the tranquility of the present. In modern life, people often seek happiness in extravagant experiences, costly travels, luxury goods, remarkable achievements. Yet the Stoics ask, if you cannot be happy with a clear cup of water, can you be happy with a lavish banquet? This question reminds us that happiness does not scale with material wealth. The more possessions we accumulate, the easier it becomes to lose the ability to savor life. Only when we return to simplicity, a warm meal, a restful sleep, a fresh morning, do we realize that true happiness is never expensive. It simply requires presence. Simple happiness in Stoic philosophy is a return to nature. When we watch the sunrise, when we hear the wind, when we feel the rhythm of our own heartbeat, we connect with the eternal flow of the universe. The Stoics regard nature as the greatest teacher, and happiness as the outcome of living in harmony with it. No noise is needed, no display required, only the awareness that we are part of the whole and that the whole is nurturing us. In that moment, simple happiness becomes self-evident, like the breath, like light, like life itself. Epictetus once reminded, if you always look at what you lack, you will never be happy. But if you look at what you have, you will see yourself richer than most. This seemingly simple statement is a remedy for one of the most common ailments of our age: constant discontent. People today often compare themselves to others, always feeling that something is missing to make life complete. Yet when we pause and look around, we realize that even a deep breath, a satisfying meal, or a roof over our heads is a blessing. The Stoics teach that knowing sufficiency is the shortest path to happiness. Marcus Aurelius, in the pages of his journal, wrote, "Live as if you had already left this life. Observe every moment as if it were your last." This was his way of reminding himself to treasure every second. When we treat today as our final day, we no longer waste it on anger, anxiety, or envy. We choose to love more, forgive more easily, and savor the tiniest details. This attitude transforms the present into an invaluable treasure. Within that treasure, simple happiness is no longer something to seek. It naturally manifests in every breath we take. Seneca stated, "Happiness is not waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain." This is a beautiful metaphor for presence. Instead of placing happiness on an ideal condition, when all difficulties vanish, we can find joy amidst challenges. A rainy day can become a source of delight if we notice the shimmering drops, listen to the gentle patter, or feel the coolness on our skin. The Stoics do not wait for life to be convenient to be happy. They discover joy right in the heart of adversity. And this is what makes their philosophy endure through the ages. In modern life, those who appreciate the present moment are often the most serene. They do not need lavish vacations to feel happiness, because they find joy in a warm morning cup of tea, a good book on a rainy afternoon, or a cozy family meal. When we focus on these simple pleasures, we realize that happiness is not scarce. It is merely obscured by our excessive desires. The Stoics remind us to return to the small, for within the small, we discover the great, the calm and peace within our hearts. Simple happiness, according to Stoic philosophy, is an invitation to return to the essence of life. It does not demand that we abandon our dreams, but it reminds us not to let dreams steal the present. It does not forbid the pursuit of success, but it warns that success has no meaning if we lose the joy of daily life. When we learn to balance, striving toward goals while still cherishing each step, we realize that happiness has never been far. It is right beneath our feet, in every moment we live, breathe, and feel. And this is the simple miracle that the Stoics have bequeathed to humanity. Epictetus once affirmed, "Freedom and happiness begin with understanding. Some things belong to you, some do not. And the present moment is the only thing that truly belongs to us. The past has passed, the future has not yet arrived. Only the present is the ground where we can sow the seeds of happiness." When we understand this, we no longer waste time in regret or worry. We realize that simple happiness does not need to wait, but can be lived right now, in every breath, every step, every gaze filled with gratitude. Marcus Aurelius left us an immortal reminder. The happiness of life depends on the quality of your thoughts. The thoughts we plant in our minds determine the joy or sorrow in each moment. If we sow resentment, we reap suffering. If we sow gratitude, we harvest happiness. The Stoics do not teach us to flee from emotions, but to cultivate the mind to choose our thoughts, so that every moment becomes fertile soil nourishing the joy of living. This is the essence of simple happiness, mindfulness in every thought, in every sensation. Seneca also conveyed, "The wise man is the one who turns every condition to his advantage." This means that, regardless of circumstances, we can find joy. When wealthy, enjoy abundance. When poor, enjoy the freedom from material constraints. When healthy, enjoy vitality. When ill, enjoy the quiet reflection it offers. The Stoics transform adversity into lessons, the present into gifts. In this way, they always find happiness, not because life is easy, but because they know how to live fully in every condition. In today's fast-paced world, the Stoic lesson of simple happiness becomes ever more precious. We cannot slow the whirl of society, but we can slow the pace of the mind. We cannot remove all difficulties, but we can choose to view them with equanimity. We cannot possess everything, but we can know enough to cherish what we already have. When we return to the present, we see that happiness has never been far away. It is in the morning light, in a loved one's smile, in the serenity of a quiet afternoon. Finally, Stoic philosophy leaves humanity an eternal message. Happiness is not a destination, but the way we walk through each moment. It is not an illusion in the future, but presence in the now. It does not demand luxury, but blooms from simplicity. When we learn to live this way, we realize that every day can be complete, every moment can be a miracle. And when we cherish each second, we hold the key to freedom and happiness, the gift the Stoics have preserved and passed down to us across thousands of years.